Well, here we go, everybody. Time for another edition of Papa's Comic Books and Coffee. All right, let's see who decided to drop in today. Will you look at that? Marvel Comics Group, ROM, Space Knight, number 7, 40 cents back in 1980. This is by Bill Manto and Sal Buscemi. Title of the story will be As I Lie Dying. Okay, don't forget, this book and others are available on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. All right, let's get into it, see what we can find out. I'm sorry, Brandy, there's nothing I can do. Rom is dead. After witnessing the awesome aftermath of Rom's battle with the renegade Space Knight Firefall, State Trooper Artie Packer was ordered not to breathe a word of what he'd seen to anyone. Artie had no way of knowing that the government agent who gave the order was really a dire wraith, an alien in human guise. There are some things a man just can't keep to himself, and so Artie Parker decided to share the secret of what he'd seen with his best friend, Steve Jackson. Hey, Steve, you in here? What happened to the door in your garage? Holy smokes. Come on in, Artie, and pull the tarpaulin closed. Behind you. It quickly became obvious that Steve Jackson already knew Artie's secret. So, it's him, the alien the whole country's been searching for. The one who killed Police Chief Rogers and half a dozen Clarendon citizens. You've caught him? No, I'm helping him, Artie. Rom hasn't murdered anyone. Those citizens you say he killed weren't even human. They were aliens disguised as humans, dire wraiths. Are you out of your mind? Hey, wait a minute. That was your girlfriend's story, too. Some hogwash about a friendly alien. You and Brandy are in this together, protecting that murderous monster. Artie, hold on, will you? How long have we been friends? Since high school, right? Have I ever lied to you? No, never. But what's that got to do with... Just listen to me for 5 minutes, all I ask, okay? This morning, you told me and Brandy that you saw things out in the state highway last night that you were ordered not to talk about. Yeah, crazy things, a man in flaming armor and weird eyeless bloodhounds. They were both weapons, Artie, agents of dire wraiths who've come to Earth pretending to be humans. Those dogs you saw transform themselves into phantom-like creature called Dogs of the Dark Nebula. And they tracked Rom here, nearly totaling my garage before he stopped them. You really expect me to swallow a half-baked, cockeyed, cockbull story like that, Steve? You don't believe me? Look under that blanket. Go ahead. What's stopping you? Are you afraid? You'll find out I'm telling the truth. Okay, I'll look. But so help me, Jackson, if there is this idea of a joke, I only wish it were. I could do with some laughs right now. Artie Packer peers beneath the oil-stained dropcloth and draws back in horror from the dead demonic face that he's seen beneath it. Sweet, merciful heaven, well, what is it? I already told you, telepathic tracking bred by the dire wraiths to hunt down Rom. They seemed Rom's greatest weapon, his neutralizer inside a force field, and then tackled Rom himself. I torched him. One of them, Rom electrocuted the other, but in the process, Rom absorbed too much energy. His cyborg armor acted like a circuit breaker and shut him down. I've been trying to revive him, but I don't know if he's in shock or dead. It was just about to call Brandy to see if I could bring Rom over to her lab where she works. They have diagnostic equipment there, a lot more sophisticated than the stuff I use in tune cars. Hi, Brandy. It's me, Steve. Listen, honey. After hours, Steve Jackson has explained things to Brandy Clark. She says it's okay to try and sneak Rom into the lab. So how about it, buddy? Are you and me or against me? Steve, I don't know. Who's crazier? You for believing what you believe, or me for willing to help you? That's how I felt when Brandy first told me Rom was on our side, Artie. It isn't easy to accept it, but it's the truth. Together, the two young men hauled the silent silver cyborg into Artie's patrol car. On scene, they managed to load the motionless Rom into the back seat. Man, he weighs a ton. No, about 850 pounds. I weighed him while I had him up on the lift. If anybody's told me a few days ago I'd be trying to repair a damaged alien with a welding torch, well, I did what I could, Rom. Got injured fighting to protect us. I just hope we can put him back together again somehow. They leave. While the woods behind Jackson's auto repair yielded a terrible trio of telephonic hellhounds. Like earthly bloodhounds, the curves sniff the tarmac. But it is on their other unearthly sense that they rely on the cross towards Steve's abandoned body shop. Blindly feeling their way into the dim interior of the garage, they search for some trace of the alien in this very mundane setting, until at last they find the remains of their brother and howl with hellish grief. Ooh. Enough, you filthy curs. Do you want to alert the humans to our presence here? The dogs snarl at the interruption of their mourning, but they cover too. For they have been bred to serve and fear their masters, the dire wraiths. So Rom slew you, mangy mutt. Amazing, I don't think even a space knight was capable of standing against a dark dog in his phantom state. Rom is dangerous indeed. Project Safeguard, our headquarters must be informed of the latest development. But first, this place must be cleansed of all traces of our presence. Transform yourself, curs, to the phantom state. And bear away the body of your slain companion and that prize of prizes which he managed to encase within his impenetrable force sphere before he died, Rom's neutralizer. Obeying their master of the dogs of the dark, the nebula drifts skyward with their double burden. While in the garage, he who has monitored the actions transforms himself as well. We left no clue to link the blame for the destruction to Wrathkind. No human will believe the stories that Rom's companions tell as long as they have no proof. My work here is done. Rom's greatest weapon is the hands of dire wraths. But the elders must be informed of the Space Knight's disappearance. The blackbird flies. His ultimate destination is Washington, D.C., and the imposing evidence known as Project Safeguard, where a few hours later, Wraith scientist Rachel Sweet reports to a Wraith elder, Most High One, Rom has been injured. His neutralizer is ours. Rom is in his weakest. We must find him and strike now. I shall order the search to begin at once. No need, sister. Sweet, we know Rom could not have left the Claritin unobserved. We will alert Wrathkind in West Virginia to his predicament. But we need not risk any more of our people in direct assault, not when we can summon the Thornoids, to finish Rom off for us. The Thornoids? They are not share our hatred of the Space Knight. They are merely carrion creatures who feed off the havoc we create. They are awesomely powerful and beyond even wrath control. They have been called Sister Sweet. They will either destroy Rom and his human friends for us or wreak such carnage the horrified Earthlings will come to see Rom as a source of disaster. The Scorpion summons goes forth, and sinister shapes swirl in the high wrath crystal. Alien seed. The quiet corridors of the tiny West Virginia pharmaceutical laboratory have never seen a sight as strange as this. 3 otherwise ordinary inhabitants of Earth hurry down these self-same corridors, trying not to be observed, and wheeling in colossal form of a crippled space knight. Hurry, please, hurry. We've got to get Rom into an empty lab before we're discovered. Oh, Steve, what's wrong with him? He's so still, lifeless. Is he dead? Brandy, I've already explained to you that I don't know. I mean, what am I supposed to do when a giant robot collapses in front of me? Take his pulse? Excuse me. Rom's not a robot, Steve. He's a cyborg, a man who is neurologically crafted into a machine. I just hope we can use the equipment here at the lab to help him, or at least find out if he's still alive. Here, no one's using this lab today. Reel him in. I hope you know what you're doing, Brandy. I do, Artie. Didn't Steve tell you Rom's here to help us? He told me, but I still can't swallow this business about people I've known all my life really being alien, dire wraith. Rom sworn, the dire wraiths are here, Artie, and they're willing to kill, or worse, to keep their existence on Earth a secret. Rom sworn to stop them from conquering Earth the way they tried to conquer his world, Glador, 200 years ago. Right, now the robot's a bicentennial. Better draw these drapes so we're not seen from outside. Though I admit I'm more worried about being stopped by the butterfly boys from the funny farm than by authorities. What am I saying? I am the authorities. Oh, Steve, we've got to help him. We're sure going to try, honey. I hope this doesn't cost me my job. But as soon as Trooper Packer will soon discover, far more than his job is at stake. Outside the lab building, skies that were clear moments ago now darken and gray. But these are no natural clouds. There is no natural rain. It contains within its seeds of unearthly life, falling from the upper atmosphere. The seeds land and implant themselves in the warm, fertile soil, sprouting and spreading their first purple shoots of seconds. They mature rapidly, branching off into thorny tendrils. They slither out from the supporting stalk. The plants sway where there is no breeze. While unaware of what's occurring outside, a very nervous trio attempts to revive the space knight. The EEG is detecting brainwave activity, I think. The EEG. That may mean Rom's alive or may not. How do we tell? Electrocardiogram, Genial Joe. I mean, even if we're scientists, how could we as Earth beings interpret the life signs of a Gladoran gladiator? You know, I'll bet Rom's in a state of shock. He was fighting with the dogs of Dark Nebula, both of them charged with thousands of volts of electrical current just before he collapsed. And you made the analogy of Rom's armor acting like a circuit breaker? Shutting him down when the incoming energy overloaded his power reserves? We just have to find some way to turn him back on. I'm an auto mechanic, honey, not Thomas Edison. Steve, you've got to try. I'm just an administrative assistant. Artie's a policeman. You're the only one here who has any mechanical knowledge at all. I fix cars, not aliens. But I'll give it my best shot. Better hurry, Steve. The coast is still clear, but don't know how long it will stay that way. The danger will not come through the door, but it will reach them soon. Any change now, Brandy? No, nothing there. No change. Still all clear. Sweat soaking his brow, Steve Jackson twists dials and solders connections in a desperate attempt to reawaken a spark of life in the silent space night before him. He can feel the eyes of Brandy and his best friend upon him, pleading, demanding answers he does not have. At last, Steve has done all he can do. That's it. I've done everything I could think of, and a few things I didn't even know were possible. And you've cured him, Steve? Rom's going to be all right? Search me, honey. Maybe if I had a Space Knight repair manual, I could say I hooked him up everything I right way, but it was just the guesswork. I just don't know. And you're giving up. Rom doesn't really matter to you, does he? Honey, you've hated Rom ever since he arrived on Earth. You can't stand the thought of me feeling something for the man trapped within that armor. You're willing to let Rom die to keep him from me? But whatever reply Steve is about to make to his girlfriend's outburst dies unspoken in his throat. Greater love hath no man, What in heaven's name? Plants walking, plants coming right through the window. It's got to be another attack by the dire wraith. They found us. Brandy, get back. Look out for those thorns. You win, Steve. These things are much worse than your silver friend. We've got to get word to the Claritons. Been invaded by evil aliens. And with a few plant corpses as proof, even though the skeptics will have to believe. Artie, the blasted thing's got hold of me, kid, dragging me towards it. I'll help you, buddy. Hold on, I'm coming. The thorns, they're tearing at me. And as Steve tries desperately to reach his friend, another plant is coming after me. I've got to reach a beaker. I've got to reach that beaker. Shred, Tess, of sulfuric acid. The acid stopped. But one beaker of acid used against a single plant is not enough to save the state trooper Artie Packer. Artie, I can't get through to him. And he stopped screaming. Steve, for the love of heaven, get back. The plants have blocked the window and door, honey. We're trapped. In trying to save Rom, we've doomed ourselves. Steve, look behind the plants. What's behind the plants? What's behind the plants? Rom's come to save us. I could do no less for those who risk their lives to save mine. Have no fear. These carrion creatures shall never lay thorn or tendril upon you. You are my friends, under the sworn protection of Rom, the Space Knight. Back, creature. I'll not be fed to such filth as you. Scavengers, parasites. You possess no minds, no will of your own. You only come when you're summoned by the sinister sorcery of the dire wraiths. I feed upon their leavings to reap their harvest of destruction. But the hated wraiths have miscalculated if they thought you could destroy me. Freeze as I engage my temperature control, lowering the surface of my armor to the sub-zero cold that has allowed me to soar near fiery suns. At once the tendrils of the thornoids freeze, become brittle, and shatter. Away, vile vegetation. Rom's winning, killing the plants with the intense cold. But there are so many, if they reach us before he does. We've got to do something, things for ourselves. Use our heads. Cold stops those creatures, cold. And the carbon dioxide and fire extinguishers foam, the temperature is whatever it covers. The billowing clouds of ice-cold CO2 foam and Rom's body temperature control take their toll on the withering stalks. My spider sense is tingling. Trouble ahead. Here comes Spider-Man. Oh, look. He gets Twinkies. We've done it, Steve. We've stopped the plants. Aye, Brandy, that you have. Steve's fast thinking has helped end the battle. And he is my gratitude for siphoning off some of the extra energy I absorbed during my battle with the Dogs of Dark, Nebula. He was able to reactivate my armor. I thought he'd given up. Enough. I live and I burn with the fierce desire to punish the dire wraiths who have unleashed the horror on myself and mankind. Yeah, the hunt's got to go on, doesn't it? No time to rest or to mourn the dead. Artie, oh, Steve, I'm so sorry. I guess every war has to have its casualties, doesn't it? And that's it. That was ROM, Space Knight, number 7 from 1980, As I Lay Dying. Well, I hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Tell me what you thought. Hit that subscribe button. I'm always looking for more subs. The more subs I have, the more energy it gives me to read some more. As always, this book and other ones are available on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. And as I always say...
That was easy.
Until next time, Papa is out.